First on film and entertainment Oscar nomination week, and we've got the full crowd together. We've got Jackie Hamilton, Greg King, Peter Krause, and Dave Griffiths. Folks, delighted that you could all be with us. It is an auspicious week. It's sort of the week that we've been waiting for, and there's all these awards, but as Peter and I have often said, there's only one Academy Awards, is there not, Peter?
No.
Well, okay, there we go. Oscars. There is only one. The rest are imposters, are they not, Peter?
Not at all. Each country has its own Academy Awards, so yes. They're all just as good.
I don't think so. What do you reckon, Dave? They're not all just as good, are they?
Oh, look, I actually find some of the other countries' Academy Awards more interesting than the Oscars, because a lot of the times the Oscars just goes to the film that knows how to market itself the best, whereas the other countries take it more seriously and give it to more deserving films.
Oh, come on now. Am I going to get anybody agreeing that there's 4 tennis tournaments that are better than any other? Is there anything better than the Oscars, Greg King?
Well, the BAFTAs have a lot of credibility as well, Alex.
Oh, no, look.
And none of you Caesars in France and the Donatelli Awards in Italy are very prestigious as well for those countries.
Look, I think it'd be fantastic to win any award, but don't you want to win an Oscar, Jackie? Maybe not you, but an actor?
Yes, I'd accept it with gratitude. Thank you very much if you're offering one, Alex. Well, of course, being televised, it has the worldwide, the eyes on it. So it has the red carpets and that all goes along with it, I guess. So that's what brings it to the people.
Well, this year, of course, there is a movie that I didn't particularly like, that I don't think Dave particularly enjoyed either, that leads the nominations with 11. And I reckon the title says it all. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, Together, Forever, God knows what else it's called. It's an overrated film, isn't it, Dave?
Oh, it made my worst list of last year. I absolutely hated it. It was one of the only movies last year where if I hadn't have been reviewing it, I probably would have walked out.
There you go. Now, okay, so I know, Jackie, you're on the other side. You think it's a piece of cheese, whatever you want to call it. What about you, Peter? Did you like it?
Very much so. It's a very clever piece of filmmaking. I had on my top 10 list.
I'm dismissing you too. Greg?
I'm in the middle of it. It had some elements, but I thought it was too long, and some of it went on too far, and I'm still scratching my head over some of it as well. It's not the best film around, but it's certainly an interesting one to have been nominated for an Oscar. But it has a lot of people. It's got a lot of momentum at the moment, having just won the Critics' Awards.
Yeah, look, 11 nominations, and it's fascinating. There's 5 of us. 2 really, really liked it. 2 really, really didn't like it all that much, and 1 was in the middle. So I'm not sure what that says, but nevertheless, we've got the 95th.
It says that Peter and Jackie are right.
Oh, is that what it says?
Alex, while you're on that, though, a lot of other films have won large amounts of nominations, like
I was about to mention,
and won nothing. I mean, Colour Purple was nominated for 11 Oscars, won nothing. The Turning Point was nominated for 10 Oscars and won nothing as well. So 11 nominations doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Very good. Well, look, I suspect, though, it will win a number of awards. Just how many?
Anything.
I mean, it's kind of one of these things that, again, you start betting on the Oscars for those people who are into that, but you've got to bet very carefully, because at this stage, it's not an open field. But The Banshees of Inisherin, which I thought was a terrific film, that is number 2 with regards to nominations, along with All Quiet on the Western Front, which we talked about last week, Peter. 9 nominations for each of them. I mean, we'll go through I suppose we can go through some of the categories. And I know this is early days, but I'm going to get you to give me your views in terms of what will win and what should win. So Best Picture, I'm just wondering, there's up to 10 of those, of course. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 10 this year. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, Women Talking. A very strong collection of movies. What do you think should win? Dave, you start off.
What should win is Banshees. What will win, I think, will be Everywhere, Everything, All at Once.
Mm-hmm. I'm certainly hoping Banshees win. Peter?
I think Everything Everywhere should win and will win.
Okay, Jacqueline.
I'm torn between Everything Everywhere, but I don't think it will win. I think The Fabelmans could be a sentimental favourite there.
And Gregory King?
Look, the Banshees of Inisherin should win. Everything Everywhere, as I said, has some momentum at the moment. And Hollywood loves films about Hollywood filmmaking, so that would give The Fabelmans a bit of an inside chance there as well.
Exactly.
And we haven't seen women talking yet, so I can't really judge that one.
No, but what do you think will win, Greg?
Oh, look, I'll go for the Banshees of Inisherin.
Good on you. All right, and as I say, I'm going for that as well. Now, we have this discussion every year. Why 10 films or up to 10 films as terms of best picture, but only 5 for all the other categories? And how can you make a film without a director? Only 5 of them. Martin McDonagh for Banshees, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. Let's start with you, Greg. Best director. Where's it going to fall?
I'm one of those traditionalists that think the best film should go with best director. We could always ask Bruce Beresford for his opinion on that one, though. But look, Steven Spielberg is also a bit of a sentimental favourite, and Hollywood does love him. So I'd go for Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin and Steven Spielberg as the outsider.
Good on you. And we'll go to Jackie next.
Or for directing, I would go with Everything Everywhere.
Oh, would you? Okay. Peter?
It's an interesting one because, of course, the whole Academy votes for Best Film, and that's why you now have 10 nominees because of the large numbers and proportions and all that sort of thing. But for Best Director, I have a feeling Spielberg will win that for The Fabelmans, but that the Daniels will not win it for Everything Everywhere.
Okay. And Dave?
Yeah, I'm the same as Peter. I actually think that Steven Spielberg will walk away with it, but I would have given it to Banshees. But yeah, I think Spielberg will take it away.
Yeah, I'm going Martin McDonagh as well for Banshees. Best lead actor: Austin Butler, Elvis; Colin Farrell, The Banshees; Brendan Fraser, The Whale; Paul Mescal for After Sun; and Bill Nye for Living. So yeah, I'll go first on this one. I want Brendan Fraser to win for The Whale. I just thought it was a phenomenal performance, as great as Colin Farrell was in The Banshees of Inisherin. What about you, Dave?
I'm so torn with this. I'm so torn between Farrell and Fraser. I think The Whale will win it, but wouldn't be surprised if Colin Farrell's not a dark horse there as well.
Greg King.
Well, I've only seen 2 of those films, so it's a bit hard to do that. Of the ones I've seen, Colin Farrell for me. But from what I've heard of Brendan Fraser, it wouldn't surprise me if he walks away with this one. And Hollywood loves a comeback.
Oh, absolutely, no question. Peter?
There are 2 interesting nominations. Paul Mescal for After Sun, which is quite a superb low-budget UK film, and Bill Nye, who has a lot of sentimental voting behind him for Living. But I would like Brendan Fraser to win it, and if he doesn't, then it probably will be Colin Farrell.
Jacqueline?
Well, it's a bit unfair because I have only seen The Banshees of Inisherin and Elvis. Although the others are, just a matter of a couple of weeks away. So it's a bit hard to choose. I can't obviously comment on those. But because The Banshees wasn't among my favourite films of the year, I'm definitely going for Elvis, for Austin Butler in Elvis. And he did, that was a magnificent performance. So I'm not embarrassed about saying that I reckon he should be up there.
Now, there's only one actress that needs to win Best Lead Actress, and it's Cate Blanchett. I mean, by what she doesn't do in that movie, I don't think you can do on screen. She is just magnificent in Tar, so I'm going for her. We haven't seen Ana de Armas in Blonde. Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie, we haven't seen either. Michelle Williams was terrific in The Fabelmans, and Michelle Yeoh was outstanding in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So is there anybody who does not believe that Cate Blanchett will win? Any of the 5 of us other than... No, okay. Anybody? No?
She'll get it.
I think she's... Yeah.
She should get it.
I think she should win, but I don't think she will.
Really? You think Michelle Yeoh will win?
I reckon Michelle Yeoh's got the the whole push of Hollywood behind her at the moment, I really think that it should be between Kate Blanchett and Michelle Williams, because I thought Williams was fantastic in Fabelmans. But yeah, I've got a sneaking feeling that Yeoh will win.
Now, Peter, do you agree with me, as you always do?
Well, I don't agree with that. But no, I think Michelle Yeoh is likely to win for diversity reasons. She was also excellent in the film. And Kate Blanchett, there might be a little bit of a backlash against her for her recent comments about saying awards presentations and women competing shouldn't be the case. I found her comments very strange. So I think a combination of those will probably mean Michelle Yeoh. And I should mention, the only film I haven't seen is To Leslie, which at this stage has no Australian distributor. And Andrea Riseborough, Kate Blanchett and so many other actors pushed for her nomination. It seems that she has put in a great performance. So she's a really dark horse.
Yeah, I read something only yesterday that there's some pushback about all the white actors and whatever again. I mean, every year we're reading stuff. It's quite troubling that even though endeavours are being made, clearly they're not necessarily enough for everybody. By the way, when you say what Kate Blanchett said, perhaps for those people who haven't read the remarks, you could reference them a little bit further, Peter, and explain what she said.
Well, she said that competitions, especially with women competing, is meaningless, that it doesn't further the cause, it doesn't do anything for people's understanding of films, of women, of a whole range of things, which is a very interesting comment because she has been part of competitions and has received awards in the past. Of course, this is her third potential Oscar. So I don't know. I think maybe she just came out of left field with that comment because she felt that there's too much competition and marketing and publicity for awards when in fact it's the performance that's more important and the film itself. It's an interesting one.
Well,
Peter, you probably recall when George C. Scott even refused his Oscar nominations, calling it a meat market, but he still went on to win.
True.
Well, hang on, Greg, you and Peter are both teachers. And not long ago, it was said, oh, well, we shouldn't have competition among kids to get into university. We shouldn't have exams that, some people are going to be mentally scarred because they don't handle exams well, and, competition overall is not good. I mean, since time immemorial, there's competition, the alpha males and all that sort of stuff. Is competition necessarily bad? I just think it's the way the world works, isn't it? Does anybody disagree with that? Should we have we want an equitable society? I get all of that, but
I think you've gone off on a tangent there, Alex. We're talking about an award.
I make a habit of going off on tangents.
It's so annoying.
I know, and that's why I do it, because it annoys you. Anybody who listens to this program knows that. Have I succeeded again, Jacqueline? Thank you. All right.
I'll give you an award for that.
Thank you. Very good. All right. So
you haven't asked me my opinion yet, Alex. I
was distracted because she went off on a tangent. Bye, Jacqueline. What's your thoughts, Greg?
Well, I think Kate Blanchett probably deserves to win because it's a great performance there. Anakin Armas, by chance, has been nominated for a Razzie for the same film, so that sort of shoots her out of competition there. And if Gil McLaughlin, I'm going to bring a sporting analogy here for you, Alex. If Gil McLaughlin was doing the announcing of the winner there, can you imagine the suspense when he goes, and the winner, Oscar, goes to Michelle, dramatic pause, and then he announces it.
Very good. Jacqueline, do you know who Gil McLaughlin is?
Someone to do with sport, obviously.
Very good. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Now, okay, so we are now moving on to, for those people who don't follow AFL football and the mighty fighting Essendon football machine, the only club to follow, he is currently the head of the AFL, the CEO. Best Supporting Actor, Brendan Gleeson for Banshees, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. I haven't seen Causeway. Judd Hirsch for the Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for the Banshees again, and Kei Hugh Hwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, okay, this look, both Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keane were phenomenal in Banshees. It's always difficult when you're competing against one of your own. Now, I'm not sure whether they should rule that out. Probably not, because if they're both worthy, they should be characterised as such. Has a Best Supporting Actor award or even a Best Actor award or actress or Best Supporting Actress ever been shared in the Oscars? Any thoughts about that, Peter?
Yes, it has. Wasn't there a case where, was it Barbara Streisand and Katharine Hepburn won Best Actress Oscar?
Oh, okay. I mean, I suppose the way to avoid that is to have an uneven number of nominees. The people doing the voting, and therefore you could never have that. So, I mean, do we want co-captains in football clubs? We're back to football, Dave. Do we want co-captains or not?
No. I think it should be a slap fest, like with Will Smith to sort it out. But no, I really think that Brendan Gleeson should and will win for that. Yep.
I think it's fantastic as well, and I such a dry performance. But I mean, Barry Keane's performance was a lot more showy, wasn't it, Dave?
Possibly, but I just think that Gleeson is well and truly loved by the Hollywood fraternity, and I think he deserves it. It was a brilliant performance.
It was. No, I'm going for Brendan Gleeson as well. Jackie?
Yeah, Brendan Gleeson from me too. Yep.
Greg?
Totally.
Yeah, Brendan Gleeson for me too, because sometimes this supporting acting role is a career reward for someone who's been around for a long time, and this is their just rewards there. But having said that, as you said earlier, Hollywood loves comeback stories. Hello, Brendan Fraser and Ke Huy Quan. Where's he been since Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? Basically,
a few years ago, that's for sure. Absolutely. And who have I left out? Jackie?
Me.
Oh, Peter. Sorry, you're not.
Oh dear, I was too busy playing football. Leave me alone.
I'm so ecstatic that you're actually talking football, Peter. Right.
Yes, I know. I'm having my head examined in the morning.
Are you going Brendan as well or no? Oh, hang on.
Absolutely not. It's a lay down misere, especially given other nominations and awards for Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere.
Ah, okay. And Best Supporting Actress, Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Hong Shou, who was terrific in The Whale. Kerry Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin. What a marvellous performance by her. Jamie Lee Curtis, a very different role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And Stephanie Hugh in, again, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Once again, competition within that film. So this is a tough one. I thought Hong Shou was terrific in The Whale, and I loved Kerry Condon. Oh, gee, this is a very difficult one. I'm going for Hong Shou, just over Kerry Condon. What about you, Jackie?
Well, the only one I haven't seen on this list is The Whale, so I can't comment on your choice there. But I thought Jamie Lee Curtis is one of the main reasons to go and see and enjoy Everything Everywhere All at Once. She knocks it out of the ballpark. She's hilarious. Her comedic performance is brilliant.
Can we just watch her on YouTube? Just stick it together.
Yes, certainly you can. Yep.
Thank you. All right, good stuff. Peter?
I think definitely based again on past awards and nominations, similar to Ke Huy Quan, I think Angela Bassett has got it in the bag.
Yeah. Okay. Greg?
I'm with Jackie here. I love Jamie Lee Curtis in Everything Everywhere All at Once. For me, that was she was the highlight of the film.
Okay. Dave?
If I was awarding it, I would give it to Hong Shou, but I think Angela Bassett will win.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So are you suggesting here that there's sort of momentum over career, and that comes into play at some stage, does it?
Absolutely, because there's...
And politics as well.
Yes, and there's a lot of crossover, don't forget, with BAFTA voters and Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, so there's some crossover anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got the Screenplay Awards: Best Adapted, which is All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, and Knives Out Mystery, Living, Top Gun Maverick, Women Talking. I'm sentimental. I don't know what you want to call it after 36 years, but I love Top Gun Maverick. I want it to win this award. What about you, Jackie?
I'm just trying to. I can't remember the list.
Okay,
Alex. I'm looking for it.
Sorry.
Oh, here, adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen them all. I haven't seen Women Talking. I mean, Top Gun Maverick was fine, but it was just really a repeat. I don't know. I don't have a choice on this one.
People's list of the top 10 films of the year, Jackie.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, but you criticised me for that, and then you didn't like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and that had even more. Look, I'll actually go for All Quiet on the Western Front because I thought that was a really interesting take on that film, the adaptation of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Greg King?
I haven't seen Living or Women Talking yet. Glass Onion was okay, but not the best written film. I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front, so I'm going to go with Top Gun Maverick, which was my top film of last year.
Was it? I didn't, because I was out the night of your radio program. I didn't realise that was your best film. So what was number 2 and 3 for you?
Oh, God, now you're testing my memory here, Alex.
Last week. Come on. Last week or the
I'm going to hear you somewhere. Hang on a second.
Okay, yeah.
After about the first one, I stopped doing, but I liked Barbarian, Elvis, Compromat and Bones and All as well.
I don't know what Barbarian was, to be honest.
That's that one that put you off Airbnb for life.
Oh, I see. Right, fair enough. All right, so let's go on to Dave. Best adapted screenplay, mate.
I think it should go to All Quiet on the Western Front, but I wouldn't be surprised if Maverick doesn't walk away with it.
Mm-hmm. Good. And Peter?
Look, we haven't seen Women Talking, and there's been a lot of momentum for that film, Sarah Polley's film. We'll see what happens. But if it doesn't win, it'll probably go to All Quiet.
Oh, okay, good. So that's split between Top Gun and All Quiet. Now, best original screenplay, Banshees. Surely Banshees is going to. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I would have thought that Martin McDonagh certainly makes original films. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, there'd be a momentum there. The Fabelmans, Tar, Wow, and Triangle of Sadness. A really strong list. That's probably the strongest category, I reckon. That's really dividing. I'll give it to Banshees just. What about you, Dave?
Oh, look, I'm so torn because I loved Triangle of Sadness to the point where I went out and bought the script book of it, but I think Banshees will win.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Dave, you're right on the money, I reckon. What about you, Peter?
This is a very difficult category, and don't forget there'll always be surprises with the Oscars. I wouldn't be surprised if Tar won Best Original Screenplay.
Well, it's my film of 2023. At this point, I can't see anything beating it. But yeah, good one. Okay, Jackie.
Well, you've said my thoughts exactly. I can barely pick between these for original screenplay. I guess I'm going to have to go split between Fabelmans and Tar. Can we have joint winners there, please?
For you, yeah. Jackie, anything you want, whenever you want it, you just say it and you've got it. How's that?
Okay, well, we'll have 5 winners then.
5 winners. Okay. Correct. Would you like 5 winners too?
I'm going to go for the Banshees of Inisherin to give Martin McDonagh another Oscar there. But often this Best Original Screenplay is often given to a film that deserves to get the Best Film Oscar but doesn't get it. I mean, think Pulp Fiction and a lot of other films that have won Best Original Screenplay, and they probably justly should have won Best Film as well. So if whichever one doesn't win Best Film, they'll probably win Best Screenplay out of them.
Okay. That's an interesting choice because it could still. A lot of these were nominated in that category too. So, apart from Banshees, then where would you go, Greg? Everything Everywhere, Fable, Tar, or Triangle?
Everything Everywhere All at Once is more a visual thing rather than the screenplay, I think. Triangle of Sadness, again, clever film, but Tar, again, nice character-driven piece. So if it wasn't the Banshees of Inisherin, I'd go for the Fabelmans. Everyone loves Steven Spielberg.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but it took him a long time to win an Oscar himself too, didn't it? A very long time. It was overdue. What was the his breakthrough? What won him the Oscar?
Schindler's List and Saving Private Ryan.
There we go. All right. So best cinematography. Wow, that's an interesting one as well. All Quiet on the Western Front. Bardo. False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. I have no idea what that is. What is that, Peter?
It's a documentary by Alejandro Inarritu, and it was briefly in cinemas and is now on. I think it's on Foxtel. It's a Mexican look at history, and it's a most incredible film.
Oh, okay, terrific. Elvis, Empire of Light, Roger Deakins, and Tar, Florian Hofmeister. Well, there's a couple there that I haven't seen. So where are you going, Peter? Have you seen all of them or not?
The only one I haven't seen is Empire of Light.
Yeah.
But I think All Quiet on the Western Front again has a lot of momentum because it is so beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not sure about you, Greg, where you're going with all of this. I presume there's a few you haven't seen as well.
I've only seen Elvis and Tar, so
right. Yeah,
I'm limited there. So look, I liked the way Elvis was shot in frenetic style. Tar was a much more conventional style with lots of long takes and everything, but I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front.
No.
But I have to go along with Peter's recommendation that it was beautifully shot. I'll try and catch up with it on Netflix over the next week or so I can make up my own mind.
No, it sounds good. Well, I mean, I presume that's the same standing for all of us. So I'm not sure whether we want to dip in. Dave, have you seen many or not in this category?
No, not really. But I think it's a travesty that the cinematographer from Top Gun Maverick didn't get a nomination, considering that the poor guy was having to go up in jets and stuff like that to get his shot. So, yeah.
Okay, well, look, any Jackie, I presume you're the same, so you won't buy into this.
Well, I've seen 3 of the 5, and I would be torn between All Quiet on the Western Front and Elvis for cinematography. Very different styles, very different kinds of films, but both so phenomenal in the way that they were shot. Yep.
Now, look, but I'll just do a couple more. Best International Feature Film. Again, I haven't seen. I've seen, I think, 3 of them. All Quiet on the Western Front, Germany, Argentina, 1985. Obviously, Argentina. Close, which we're seeing this week, Belgium. EO, Poland, and The Quiet Girl, which was a lovely film, which was in my top 10. That's the Irish film. Again, Dave, have you seen many or not?
I have. I've seen a few of them, but I hope The Quiet Girl wins. That was in my top 10. But I wouldn't be surprised if All Quiet on the Western Front doesn't win that one as well. So
yes, that was my thoughts entirely. Peter, would you go All Quiet?
We have to be careful here.
You're talking. You're not going All Quiet, right? Sorry.
Certainly, I'm all noisy on the Western Front. Yeah. But I have a feeling All Quiet is a strong contender, and we haven't seen EO yet, unfortunately, the film from Poland, which I've heard so many good things about. But Argentina 1985 has been winning a lot of awards, and I think because of that political nature of that film, I have a feeling it might win.
Mm-hmm. Greg, you're also in a situation where you've only seen a couple of them?
I've only seen The Quiet Girl, so I really can't comment on this one.
And I presume the same with you, Jackie?
Well, I didn't. The Quiet Girl wasn't on my top at all, so I haven't seen from Argentina, Belgium, or Poland, so I'll go with All Quiet, but that's only for lack of choice.
Did you not like The Quiet Girl, Jackie?
I didn't love it.
Okay.
Liked it, didn't love it. Yep.
Okay. And Best Original Song now. You've got Applause from Tell It Like a Woman. What's Tell It Like a Woman? I can't.
It's a film that none of us know anything about.
Thank you very much. Then Hold My Hand, Peter. I'm sorry. No. Well, you can if you wish. Top Gun Maverick. That's Hold My Hand from that particular film. Yes, we're not going to get saucy on this program. Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Natu from Triple R. Now, did Triple R make it into the cinemas or did it not?
I think it was part of the Indian Film Festival and it's now on Netflix.
Well, I think it had a week at Melbourne Central or something.
Did it, Greg? Yeah. A number of people, because Greg has a cavalcade of champions over about 6 months talking about the best film of the year, and a number of them mentioned Triple R. Then This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. So they're the best category songs. Was there any really outstanding song this year? I mean, I'm probably controversial.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I didn't really notice anything in particular. I thought there was some of the scores in the movies were wonderful, but yeah, okay, maybe
especially Tar.
Yeah, maybe I'm selling it short. I don't know. What do you think, Greg?
Oh, I have trouble remembering any of those songs from those movies.
Yeah.
Basically, and I love your music, but often a standout song will sit in my brain, but I can't remember.
Yes, fair enough. And what about you, Dave? You're a music person as well. Anything stand out to you?
I'm the same. When I heard the nominations, I didn't even remember those two songs from Wakanda Forever or Maverick, and I loved both of those films. So, yeah, I'm probably not the right person to ask just because I don't remember any of those songs from the films.
While we're talking about this, I'm just wondering why the song from Where the Crawdads Sing didn't get nominated, because I still remember that one.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just wondering why that didn't get nominated.
Yeah.
Because the film wasn't worth mentioning, Greg. That's why.
Boo hiss. It doesn't matter whether the film's worth mentioning. It's the song that stands out.
Oh,
very nice. Controversy. I love it. And Peter,
I think that actually raises a really good question. Can you have a great song in a bad film?
Yes.
Of course you can. What?
Yeah.
Well, no, not really, Dave, because you've fallen asleep by then.
No, I mean, look, it often you get films that may be in the Razzies, but there's an outstanding performance or whatever. I mean, it's no different, surely. Peter, do you sing? Should you sing?
No, and I won't start because I'll be off air. But look, Where the Crawdads Sing did, I think, get a Golden Globe nomination in the song category, but that film has not achieved a lot of interest amongst voters. Look, Tell It Like a Woman. We haven't seen that film and that song, but Diane Warren has a lot of respect in the industry, and she's been nominated many times for her songs and never won. So she, I think, is a sentimental favourite, but I think that Triple R, the Indian film, will be recognised.
Okay. Well, there we go. We should mention Catherine Martin. She just keeps on getting nominated, and she keeps on winning, and she's nominated for Best Costume Design. Is there production design? I haven't seen. Is there production design category? Yes, there is. And yes, there is. I'm looking at it now. No, I can't see her.
And she's got that. She's not. Yes, she is.
She has in Elvis as well. So she's both Best Production Design and Best Costume Design for Elvis. And what she's won? Has she won 2? Is that how many she's won so far? I think so, but I might be mistaken. I haven't looked it up, but I mean that's fantastic. And
Alex, the costume design category is quite interesting though, because I think Catherine Martin is interesting for Elvis. Obviously, that was fabulous. Yeah. And Babylon was like a world apart from that. That was crazy good as well. Yes. But then you've got Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, which is a story based on fashion of a particular era. And so that makes that interesting too. So I think it's a three-way there.
That's very good point. And in fact, Jackie, you should briefly mention, because you went and saw the latest exhibition at the what is it? What's the venue?
Oh, Alexander McQueen at the NGV.
Which I actually, the reason I mentioned that is because I again saw an ad for it only a couple of days ago on TV, and I knew you'd seen it and you raved about it. Really worth seeing, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And, I wasn't quite sure that high fashion or weird fashion or creative fashion is really my thing. But knowing a bit of the story of Alexander McQueen, having thoroughly enjoyed some of I think there were 2 documentaries we've seen about him in recent years and his life. You have to, I've decided I have to trust whatever the NGV curates and puts on for us is you just go to it, because the way it was presented was just astonishingly interesting.
Can you explain that? So for those people who don't know what we're talking about, National Gallery of Victoria, it's obviously next to the Arts Centre, and it's got the, what do you call it, the water wall, etc. That's where it is. So what about the presentation? Tell me about it.
The way that brought the exhibition of Alexander McQueen's fashion to life is to delve into the man and his creative mind and work out the influences that formed each of the many styles that he put out. So for each kind of section of fashion, like in a particular era, he may have had extremely diverse influences, such as, and I'd just be plucking this out of thin air, the making scones in his grandmother's kitchen, with Persia in the 1800s, with, the experience of being on a train ride. Now, they're silly examples, but actually not so silly compared with when you see three things that seem so disparate brought together, and the influences that come into a particular fashion piece is astonishing. And there are examples, genuine examples of those three things that are displayed along with the fashion, so that you can actually see something from Persia in the 1800s, or let's go further back than that, the 1400s. They actually have a headscarf from that era, from that time, that you can see a reflection of that patterning or whatever, or the cloth or something in the design in his creative fashion. I just totally say go along whether fashion is your thing or not.
No, that's great. That's terrific. It's interesting because there used to be, I suppose, some fashion rules, and I mean generations change, of course, but the simplest of rules, like blue and green should never be seen, which is a silly example, but one that immediately comes to mind. But I'm just honestly wondering whether there is anything that you can do in fashion that's beyond the pale. I'm fast beginning to believe.
Of course there is.
Is there? I'm fast beginning to believe there isn't. Like this week there was controversy.
Well, it's very subjective and personal, though, Alex, about where your line is, where your limits are. Well, for a lot of people, Alexander McQueen just broke all the rules. I mean,
sure.
or 90% naked, models down the catwalk and things like that.
Sure. But that's what I'm getting at, Jackie, that a number of the designers and a number of the influencers and whatever, they do things to deliberately break what would be in previous generations have been called taboo. So that's why I'm saying, are there any rules anymore? And I'm questioning, this week, or I think it was this week and last week, there was controversy over something that Kate Hudson, I hope I'm not trying to diss somebody, she designed some leggings that basically had the bum cheeks out of them, and the question was, well, who would ever wear those as to complete their exercise or even to walk down the street? It's so the question here is anything can go, can't it? And I mean, if you're good enough and if you make it into the world of fashion, then suddenly it becomes the in thing for a period of time, and then it disappears for a while. And then,
but Alex, breaking the rules in fashion, creative fashion is not about what somebody would wear at the gym or to walk down the street. Creative fashion is about breaking the rules, breaking the barriers.
Right. So I'm combining the two, and I'm saying some of them are practical, some of them are not, some of them are just there to catch the attention of the eye.
They're not meant to be practical. Practical is the furthest word from what Alexander McQueen was creating.
Fair enough. Now, I want to get back to
Alex, before you move on, I just have to clear up something. Catherine Martin's won 4 Oscars.
4 Oscars. Thank you. So, Greg, in terms of the 4 Oscars, were they for 2 films or were they?
Yeah, she won Best Achievement in Costume Design and Production Design for The Great Gatsby and for Moulin Rouge. That was my confusion. That was why I was asking about whether she's again nominated in both categories. So she's won for 2 particular movies, but she's won 2 Oscars for each, making the 4. Got it. Thank you very much for clearing that up. She's been nominated 3 times for Elvis, both for costume design and production design, but also as one of the producers of Elvis.
Oh, good. By the way, I haven't asked this question, and you may have the answer. In terms of other Australian nominees, because we've obviously talked about Elvis and so on, but Catherine Martin, and we've also talked about Kate's nominations. Any other Aussies that we should be mentioning at this point? Anybody know of any others?
There is an Australian who's been nominated for Best Short Animation who lives in Queensland.
Hang on, he lives in Melbourne. I'm short and I'm animated. Does that count?
I don't know. I'll ask Gil McLaughlin.
Thank you. Oh, Peter, a second football. Oh, Dave, are we converting these heathens, are we? Just fantastic.
Well, let's face it, Gillian McLaughlin is Darth Vader, so there's a good film
Oh,
there.
now, hang on. We don't want this program to be sued. This is purely the view of one of us, not all of us, Gil. No. Okay. So, best animated feature. Now, this is the movie that I terribly got confused. The Guillermo del Toro version of Pinocchio. I'd seen the other version, which I thought was okay, but this is one I haven't seen. I loved Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. In fact, I encourage you to go and see it, Jackie. Puss in Boots.
I've seen it.
I know.
Loved it.
Yeah, wasn't it wonderful? Just wonderful.
Gave it 9 out of 10, Alex.
Good. See, you've got to trust my judgments on these things, Jackie. It's fantastic. Are you saying I'm right?
We agree.
We agree. Okay. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast. I don't know what The Sea Beast is, and Turning Red. So they're the animated feature film. Peter, I presume you're going to say that Pinocchio will win. Is that right?
Oh, definitely will win. The stop motion animation is so seamlessly done and so beautifully done that it will win.
And I haven't seen it because I would have loved Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, having not seen it to have won. Anything different from you, Dave, on this?
No, I think Del Toro should be making a space on his mantelpiece right now.
Very good. Have you seen Pinocchio, Greg?
No, I haven't.
And Jackie?
And my nose didn't grow with
Yes,
that
I have.
either.
Okay. So, Jackie, you've seen the Guillermo del Toro?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have.
And you've seen both. So,
Well, I've seen the Pinocchio, the Marcel with the Shell with Shoes On, and Puss in Boots. And I just wasn't drawn to the Pinocchio the way So I'm actually going between Marcel and Puss in Boots. And funnily enough, I almost would like Puss in Boots to win.
Really? Why?
Yeah. I actually thought it was an excellent film.
Oh, okay.
And I liked Marcel too, so I'm not quite sure why I think, but I'm just leaning that way.
Fair enough. All right. Well, look, I think
Jackie's just reminded me there was some great songs in Puss in Boots. I'm surprised none of them got nominated for best song as well.
Okay. Now,
I don't think it will win. Actually, I think Pinocchio will win, but I would kind of like Puss in Boots to have a bit of a go there. Yep.
Okay. So, look, I'll leave it at that unless anybody's got any other commentary on the Oscar nominations. Do you think it was a fair, a decent sort of smattering of films? Was it diverse enough, Peter, or not for you?
It was. I think it was a pretty good spread in terms of nominations and diversity of films and of the both the box office hits as well as the more art house type films. So yes, I think it was a pretty good range.
Pretty good range. Any other commentary, folks? Greg, Peter, sort of Dave, Jackie, anything further, or we'll leave it there? We've spent a lot of time talking about the Oscars, I've got to say. So look,
I think we missed one of the big items though. What's going to
that?
be the big controversy of this year?
Well, how do you follow a last year? Come on, Dave. Can we get? I mean, look, maybe you can invite Gil to read out some of the awards because obviously he's your favourite person. Can you get?
Yeah. Look, who's going to slap who this year?
No. You can't repeat once something's been done. Repeating it doesn't make it controversial. You've got to do something that hasn't been done before. I mean, people have stood on chairs. People have sort of cried. People have sort of done silly things.
People have streaked across the stage.
Yes.
When was that?
Read out the wrong.
When David Niven was hosting way back in the 70s, and he said that's the one that guy's just showing his shortcomings to the rest of the world.
Spot on.
Very good. That's a nice line. Sorry, Dave, I missed what you said.
Read out the wrong winner.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
So what more can possibly happen?
Someone can die on stage.
Please, we don't wish badly upon people. That's not what this spot is all about.
That'd be the controversy to top all, wouldn't it?
Oh, gee, no.
Greg, I think a few of the comedians have died on stage.
Very good.
And musicians have died on stage, so come on, let's get an old actor to shuffle out and get a heart attack when he gets announced.
Don't.
Dreadful. Shocking.
I'm not going to condone this. Sorry. Let's keep going.
I think there'll be something political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's almost every year, Peter. That's not,
with Ukraine and with there might even be a special comment by Biden. Who knows?
Okay. Well, one of the movies that I'm certainly hoping is going to do damn well, and it may not in many categories, but nevertheless, Tar, which opened on Thursday. We really need to talk about that. It's M-rated. It runs for 158 minutes, and look, I just want Kate Blanchett can do no wrong. Extraordinary multilingual piano-playing performance. She plays Lydia Tarr, internationally acclaimed classical musical conductor and composer. She's also maestro at the Berlin Philharmonic. She's considered one of the finest exponents of her art in the world, and therefore she's widely sought after. She's brilliant. She's a perfectionist. She's self-centered. She's driven, but also a very hard taskmaster, not only on herself, but on others. And she always struggles to sleep and switch off. So the movie starts with her interviewed by Adam Gopnik at the New Yorker Festival, where she's quizzed about her approach and inspiration. Her latest projects involve publication of an incisive book and also an upcoming performance of Mahler's Fifth Symphony. She's got a partner by way of a sickly Berlin Philharmonic concertmaster, Sharon Goodnow, played by Nina Hoss, and the pair has adopted a young daughter whose name is Petra. And with a busy schedule, Tar relies heavily upon her personal assistant, who's a rather sensitive person called Francesca Lentini, played by Nomi Merlant, and she relies upon Francesca for support. So events unfold as Tar and the orchestra intensively prepare for the live recording of Mahler's Fifth, which I referenced a few moments ago. Some are and have been sidelined, some of the orchestra. Among them is a young woman named Krista Taylor, former member of the fellowship program for aspiring female conductors that Tar founded. Others, such as new Russian orchestra cellist Olga Metkina, played by Sophie Kure, are given a leg up. And the cracks in Tar's makeup begin to mount. So, look, it's an astonishing, complex, sophisticated psychological drama from writer and director Todd Field, who did Little Children. I thought it was brilliantly written and executed. And for much of the way, it's a puzzle. We just have to try to figure out what's going on as we learn more about the way that Tar operates. And then more than halfway through, the film picks up momentum as the intrigue builds and the shocks take over. And as I said at the start, I thought Blanchett was outstanding in the lead. The way she carries herself, keeps delivering. Her character is all-consuming and dominant. And what stands out is her intensity in performance, particularly noteworthy when she's conducting. She, in my opinion, morphs into Lydia Tarr. What did you think, Jackie?
Oh, totally. It is Kate Blanchett's film. Funnily enough, I went to see this a second time at a very, very late screening last night.
Really?
Because I wanted to, yes, I went after dinner last night and it finished a little before midnight. I just wanted to refresh and see if the first time I saw it, when was it? About 3 weeks ago we went.
Mm-hmm.
It completely knocked me for six, and I wanted to see if I felt a bit the same way the second time. I didn't quite. I think it was the creeping up of the drama and the intrigue that really got me into the film and the way that Kate Blanchett inhabits that role. But in the end, I'm thinking of it much more as a critic's film rather than an audience enjoyment, entertainment kind of film. The character of Lydia Tarr is absolutely fascinating as we get to know her, and we're very pleased we don't know her perhaps in our own personal lives. Incredibly talented, but she's a bully and she's powerful and she's haunted and she's very, very complex. And that's why she's fascinating to watch. And the people around her who call her maestro to her face. And when somebody, when the world calls you maestro, you obviously believe that. And she certainly was. Yet it being a character piece, it's still, the whole film has an extraordinary ambience, and it's a very rich and, as you say, complex film. But I wouldn't necessarily say a film for audience enjoyment.
What about you, Dave?
Yeah, I thought this was an absolute masterpiece of a film. It feels like a theatre production. Kate Blanchett's performance is what you would expect from a theatre production, in that she's in just about every scene. A lot of those scenes are very, very long, and it's very, very dialogue driven. So she puts in a brilliant performance. But of course, I think you've also got to give credit there to Todd Field with his screenplay as well, because without that screenplay, she wouldn't be delivering those scenes, and they're intense. It's a weird film. Like Jackie said, it's one of those films where I can't imagine people would go, I'm looking for a good night out, I might go see Tar. But it is one of those films where if you're a cinema lover, you are going to enjoy this film and cherish every single moment of it.
Peter?
Look, it is a superb film, and Todd Field had been planning this film and writing it for quite a long time, and he only wanted to have Kate Blanchett in the title role of the fictional female conductor Lydia Tarr. Some people seem to think it's based on a real person. Well, it's an amalgam of a number of different people, but it's a fictional character. And so he waited until Kate was available and then was able to make the film. Look, I think it's a superb film. It's beautifully written. The performances are superb. That Kate had to learn German, relearn the piano, really had to learn what the whole art of orchestra conducting is all about, and so on. Absolutely superb. But it's interesting to note this film has had a backlash. And the backlash is that here we have at last a film about a female conductor, and she's presented in a negative light as being a bully, as you said, and having those sort of psychological concerns. So to counteract that, it's interesting to note Kate Blanchett executive produced a documentary that's about to be released called Knowing the Score about Simone Young.
Yes.
And she definitely wanted to do that to show the positive side of women being conductors.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult because, I mean, if you do something that's in any way out of the ordinary, or you have a negative perception, that shouldn't mean that you can't view that. And, not every film has to have a Hollywood happy ending either. So anyway, what about you, Greg? What's your thought?
Well, this is only Todd Field's third film in 20-odd years. And, I mean, the first two, In the Bedroom and Little Children, were magnificent films as well. So he's going good there. This is a character study. And as Peter said, it's hard to believe that Lydia Tarr is not a real person. She's so well developed and rounded here and brought to life there by Kate Blanchett. You almost think she's a real person. But her performance is sensational there. Apparently that scene set in Juilliard School where she belittles a student there was shot in one take. And when you think of other one-take performances that won Oscars, like Michael Douglas's Greed is Good and Gregory Peck's delivery of the courtroom sequence in To Kill a Mockingbird, you can see how good her performance is there. And as you said too, Alice, the momentum changes as the film goes on. Early scenes are done in long takes, long shots, steady camera, and then the pace picks up. The scenes become a lot shorter and a lot quicker and much more quickly edited as she heads towards her the deep decline of her career there.
Conscious effort by the writer and director. No doubt about that at all. I hate to cut everybody short, but we are virtually out of time. Greg, score out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Jackie?
8.5 out of 10.
Peter?
9 out of 10.
Dave?
8 out of 10.
Alex? 9 out of 10. Phenomenal film. Go along and see it. Look, there's what's love got to do with it? We've got to talk about that. We'll do that next week. There's another movie I sent you to see, Jackie, which you'll have to wait and talk about next week as well, or the week after. Folks, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We'll do it all again next week, and enjoy your week. All the very best.